Hello students, I am Disha Jaiswal, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Juridical Science in Rama University in Kanpur. Today I am going to start about the concepts of business environment. Firstly, we should know what is business environment. It consists of two terms, business and environment. Business means an organization or enterprise which is engaged in any commercial activities, or we can say in any professional activities. Okay. Next is environment. Environment means ki any surroundings or conditions in which business activity is going on. So we can say ki business environment, what is business environment? Business environment means the environment of business consists of all those external and internal factors which influence the business activities. So business activities in what way? Directly or indirectly. Now moving ahead, types of business environment. Types of business environment, it consists of internal and external. In internal environment, many factors are included. Some are value system, second mission and objectives, third organizational structure, fourth quality of human resources, and many more. In external environment, again it divided in two parts, micro and macro. Micro, many factors are also included like suppliers, customers, competitors, public, market intermediaries. And in macro, political, ecological, socio-cultural environment, technological environment, legal environment, demographical environment, and natural environment. These all factors affect the business activities directly or indirectly. We can say ki we can control internal factors but in a certain extent, but we cannot control over the macro factors. We cannot control over, like we cannot control over the government policies. We cannot control over the natural calamities. Okay, so it is very necessary to adopt, it is very necessary to scanning the environment so that we can achieve our predetermined goals, so that we can achieve our mission, our objectives in a better or in a very effective and efficient way. So it is very important to scanning time to time so that business can run in a smoothing way. Environmental analysis. What is environmental analysis? Environmental analysis, it is a process that systematically surveys and interprets relevant data to identify external opportunities and threats that could influence future decisions. Environmental analysis is very important in the business operations. Why? Because any entrepreneur or any businessman should know about the opportunities, he should know about the threats, he should know about the strength, weaknesses. So environmental analysis is very important time to time. In environmental analysis, SWOT tools, or we can say techniques, is used, like SWOT, in SWOT, strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. S for strength, W for weakness, O for opportunities, and T for threats. So any entrepreneur uses these tools or techniques for analysis, or we can say for scanning environment. The process of, what is process of environmental analysis? Environmental analysis, there is 4 steps. First step is scanning. Firstly, a businessman scan the environment in a better way, then he move to the second step, monitoring. In monitoring, businessmen monitor the threats or opportunities, or we can say external factors accordingly. Now he moved to the forecasting process. In forecasting, there is a prediction, or we can say there is a forecasting about the what can be happen in future. ठीक है, okay. Next, last process is assessing. According to the gathering information, according to the scanning, according to the monitoring and forecasting, last process is assessing. In assessing process, any businessman assess the gathered data or information. Accordingly, he or she decide, or accordingly entrepreneur make the decisions so that business organization can move forward, or so that business organization can achieve the predetermined goals. Now, what is inflation? We mostly heard about this term ki inflation about the economy. What is inflation? Inflation is nothing, it's just a rise in price. Price in what? Goods and services. Inflation means ki it means increasing, or we can say rising in the price of goods and services, which is not good for the poor section of the society, which is also not good for the middle level section of the society. Is if we ask to you, is inflation good or bad for the economic growth? So our answer should be no, inflation is not good for economic growth. Why? Sometimes it leads to the for poor people, they faces starvation, and ultimately they leads to the crime. So causes of inflation: reason first, increases in wages, increase in price of raw material, third, increases in tax, fourth, increase in money supply. These are some causes for the inflation, for rising of the inflation. When there is increase in money supply, ultimately there is increases in purchasing power of the general people. Purchasing, when there is increase in purchasing power, so there is also the increment in demand. Again there is a situation of inflation. Now come to the topic of classification. Classification of inflation, it again classified in two category: demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. In demand pull inflation, it arises due to high purchasing power and supply shortage. When demand increases, then supply of that product and goods leads to the shortage position. Again there is inflation. Now cost push inflation. Cost push inflation arises when there is rise in factor prices of production. Rise in factor prices, like there is again increase in wages, increase in prices of raw materials, increase in the rate of land. So inflation is kind of barrier for economic development, for economic growth. So there should be government should be taken appropriate, or we can say effective measures to control inflation, like quantitative, qualitative aspects. In quantitative aspects, there is many measures the government take to control inflation. So inflation is a rising price in the goods and services. What is money? Money is just a medium of exchange. It is a measure of value, store of value over time. It is standard for deferred payments. Without money, there is impossible to transaction. Before the introduction of money, there is a barter system. We know about the barter system. It's just a exchange of goods against the another. So in barter system, people faced difficulties in transactions, in trading. So there is introduction of money. Money is a medium of exchange. Now what is money supply? Money supply is a total amount of money in circulation. There is a total amount of money in circulation. Money supply is the supply, or we can say circulation of money in the economy. In money supply, there is a it consists of M1, M2 and M3. What is M1? M1 is currency with public plus demand deposits with the banking system. Again, I repeat, M1 is currency with public plus demand deposits with the banking system. M2 is equal to M1 plus savings deposits of post office saving banks. M3 is M1 plus time deposits with the banking system. So, money supply is the addition of all these three factors. Money supply, if money supply increases, there is again situation of inflation. Why there is a situation of inflation? Because there is increment in purchasing power. People demand more and more about of goods and services. So, there is again rising price of goods and services. We can say there is a situation of inflation. So, money supply, government time to time introduces policies, or it time to time take measures to control the money supply in a different way, like government increase the rate of CRR. We know about the CRR, it is cash reserve ratio. Money supply increases when the banks sanction more loans to the businessman, when it sanctions, or we can say when it lends money to the people. Again, they use that money in fulfilling the demand, but the supply is not according to the demand. So, there is a situation of rise in price. We can say there is a situation of inflation. Thank you so much.